Greetings, people of Earth. My name is Thomas Allen, and I want to talk to you folks about compulsive behaviors, addictions, and recovery from compulsive behaviors and addictions. A lot of you might recognize me from the Dr. Phil show. There is a clip on YouTube called Guest Starts Trouble During the Commercial Break, and I am that guest, Thomas, who CBS feels started trouble during the commercial break because I did not agree with some of the things that Dr. Phil said. And I want to go over some of those things and answer some questions, because every now and then, I like to, obviously that video clip is 10 years old. It's been up for 10 years, and I'm amazed that people still, go there and watch the video, and they, I go down sometimes and I do read the comments, because after all, it is about me, and it's about something that I care about, which is, recovery from addiction, recovery from, compulsive behaviors, which are very troubling to the people who are in the grip of compulsive behaviors. We'll, most of us, we think about, the people who are victimized by people with compulsive urges like exhibitionism, which is what my problem was between 15 and 20 years ago. And a lot of people don't seem to get that. I go down and I read through some of the comment sections sometimes just to see, what kind of things are being said about the video and about me. Let's be honest. Look, I stopped really, sometimes I read a comment that is mean-spirited, and, I'm a human being. I'm human. And so sometimes it irritates me that people seem to be so clueless, but they are so bold in their voicing their opinion about something that they really have no knowledge about. They're ignorant to. For example, a lot of people say, well, if he didn't want Dr. Phil's help, why did he go on the show? He's arrogant and he didn't want Dr. Phil's help overcoming his problem. Well, yeah, I didn't go on the show for Dr. Phil's help in overcoming exhibitionism, because I'd already done that working with real doctors, working with real counselors and psychologists and therapists and social workers, and working with people in 12-step groups and things like that. For a very long time, and it wasn't easy. It took a long time to overcome, that problem. But by the time I had gone on the Dr. Phil show, I had already done that. And, I'm always amazed at these people who say, why did he go on the show? Because they seem clueless that I had already overcome the problem, even though the very first thing I said in that video was, I told Dr. Phil that, I believe my exact words were, you haven't even asked me how I overcame this problem. I don't believe you've even asked me that question. That's the very first thing I said in the video. So that should be a clue that I didn't go on the show for his help with that. But some people, I don't know what they're smoking, but they didn't catch the very first thing said. So anyway, Dr. Phil goes on to say, well, the reason I haven't asked the question is because I have a problem with the answers. And I'm just going, what did he just say? How can you have a problem with answers you haven't heard? Because you just said you haven't asked the questions, which means I haven't given you the answers, which means you haven't heard the answers. So how in the hell can you have a problem with answers that you never heard? But for Dr. Phil fans, for people who are Phil worshiping, right over their heads. They're just, this guy, for Dr. Phil. But, and he said some other things that just made me double take, and I'm just looking at him like, what? What did this guy just say? And I'll cover those things, not in this video. I'm not going to go into all that in this video. In this video, all I really wanted to do was let people know that the reason why I went on the show, and I will show some other, I will have some other videos that I'm going to put up that address go a little deeper into these topics. Right now I'm just going to kind of gloss over some things that I want to cover in future videos. And one of those things, like I say, some of those things are some of the things that Dr. Phil said, you know, during our exchange when I was on the show. And I want to cover some other things too, though, not just Dr. Phil, because the bottom line is what I went on the show briefly, what I went on the show to say was simply this, you know, and Phil never gave me a chance to say this because he was more interested. You gotta understand, Dr. Phil is really basically just a glorified Jerry Springer, and the vultures that sit in the seats of the audience at Dr. Phil shows are, you know, basically they're just a little higher educated and more affluent in terms of income, you know, his audience, but they're the same, you know, type of vultures that go to see Jerry Springer shows. I mean, what they crave is conflict, and they want to see people belittled and humiliated, and Dr. Phil gives them that. And so these vultures sit out there and they feed on that, you know, in his audience. I noticed that. He wouldn't have a successful show if it was based on, you know, solutions and recovery and real solutions, you know, to the problems that people face. He wouldn't have much of a show. What those people want to see is they want a villain that they can hate. So even if you're not a bad guy, Phil's going to make you a bad guy because that's good for ratings. And so that's what he does, you know. And but the only thing that I went on the show to say was very simple. I had already overcome the behavior when I went on the show. That's established. And I went on there to tell other people who might be struggling to overcome similar behavior, I went on there to tell them this. Look, I know what you are going through. I know that you think you're a piece of crap. You're not. You may be. Chances are you're probably not. Because sometimes, and here's a mind-boggling concept, sometimes good people do bad things because they're driven to for a variety of reasons. Wow, sometimes good people do bad things. Really? Yeah, sometimes they do. And sometimes they feel like they are a piece of crap. They feel like, why can't I stop doing this? I don't want to be doing the things that I'm doing, but I can't seem to stop. What the hell is going on? You know, and that's how they feel. They feel helpless, and you feel hopeless and powerless to stop this behavior that you're engaging in. And I'm here to tell you this, simply this. I know you feel powerless. I know you feel like no power on earth can help you. You cannot, for the life of you, overcome this problem. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can overcome this problem. Because I did. And I'm not special. You know, I'm not this gifted person, you know, with this divine ability to overcome things in general. I'm just an average person. Now, granted, you know, I put in the work, and it took a long time and a lot of work to overcome this problem. But anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You can do it. All you have to do is want it bad enough. You just have to want to overcome your problem bad enough. And I don't care what the compulsive behavior is. I don't care if it's exhibitionism, if it's gambling, if it's overeating, if it's addiction to drugs, if it's alcohol, whatever it is. If you really desperately want to stop it, and you're willing to do anything to stop it, you can. Don't think that it's going to be simple and it's going to be easy, because it ain't. But you can stop. Whatever it is that you're engaging in, whatever behavior it is that you're engaging in, if it's anger issues, if it's impulse control, whatever your problem is, if you want to stop it, you can stop it. I promise you that. I promise you that. I look you in the eye and I promise you that you can stop it, whatever it is you're doing. You know, and I believe that because I'm not special, man. I'm not special. And I stopped nearly 20 years now. You know, I'm constantly amazed at these people. Well, how do you control the urges? This guy. What urges? They're gone. I don't have, or you don't have to control. Look, since when does a person have to control something that is not there? I don't have to control the urges because I don't have them anymore. Get it? So please don't ask me how I control the urges. I don't have to. They're gone. You know, I can basically just walk down the street and I can do what you can do without wanting to expose myself to strange women. I don't have the urge to do it anymore. The obsession of the mind and the impulses and the compulsive, impulses, I guess, and compulsive urges that were a constant companion for so many years that I couldn't get out of my head are gone. I don't have to fight the urges because they're not there. So please understand that. And you can be rid of the urges too. You can be rid of the compulsive urges to hoard, to gamble, to smoke, to drink, you know, whatever your compulsive urges are. You can be rid of them. And that's what I went on the Dr. Phil show to say, but he wouldn't let me because he had to cater to bloodthirsty vultures sitting in the audience who crave conflict and discord. You know, so he had to cater to them because he's got probably a big house with, you know, a lot of people who work and do this and that he has to pay, and so he's got bills, and so he has to give, you know, the people who are lining his purse, you know, what they want. And excuse my if I sound a little congested. It's allergy season and I'm struggling. But you know, look. Also, I don't want to go too long here. I'm going to end it with this. Just for people, a lot of people who have wished me well and wondered how I'm doing. It's like, you know, for the past between 15, 20 years, it's like, I don't know, around 17 years or so, I've been free man in terms of I'm no longer a slave to compulsive urges. I'm free from that. You know, thank you, Jesus. And so I don't suffer from that anymore, and I don't make other people, you know, I don't subject other people to that either. Although I met a lot of willing participants along the way, believe me, and I'll cover that too in depth, but more in depth. Not great detail on that, but just so you know, that was one thing that made it more difficult to quit, was the fact that there were many that went along with it and it paid off. You know, so you know, in terms of sexual relations with people, I had a lot of encounters that wouldn't have had if I hadn't done that. So just want to make that clear, and I'm going to go ahead and end this video on that note, but I will be posting more videos answering questions for people who sincerely have legitimate questions about recovery from compulsive behavior, recovery from whatever the compulsive behavior is, because the solution is going to be the same for you. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a long haul, and it's going to take a lot of work, you know, is the bottom line. But, you know, I just want people to know that I am here to help you in any way I can to achieve the same success that I have achieved. You know, it will be very soon when I will be celebrating 20 years of freedom from compulsive behavior. And, you know, I got to tell you, you know, to the people who have wished me well and have been wondering how I have been doing, I've been doing great. You know, I mean, it's life, and that's up and down, and you know. But in terms of that, you know, I couldn't be more grateful. I am a grateful person today for my, let's call it sobriety from exhibitionism. I'll call it sobriety from exhibitionism. Very grateful for that, and grateful for the people who have positive things to say, who really want to contribute to solutions and in a positive way. And so to the other people who, the vultures and the haters and the people, there are a lot of hate-filled people out there, let me tell you. I'll get into that in another video too. But in the meantime, just want to thank supporters, people who are supportive, and I will, and people who need help. I'm gonna be here to do what I can to help you guys maybe offer up any advice that I have, because that's kind of what it's all about. You know, for people who have been there, we kind of owe you a duty if you are still there. If there's anything I can do to help lead you up out of there, then I kind of feel, you know, that I have a responsibility to do that, because I was shown mercy, and so I was helped, and a lot of people helped me along the way, and so, you know, I kind of I got a certificate for peer support. So, and along with a lot of other certificates that I have achieved for, you know, through my program of recovery, through Recovery Innovations and other organizations that I worked with, and countless, like I say, therapists and counselors and so on and so forth. But, you know, I want to be a part of the solution and try to help, you know, if I can. And so that's why I have decided to start making videos and being available for people who are in need of help, to find their way out of, you know, this desperate, dark place that I know you're in. And so just want you to know that, you know, I give a crap. I care, you know, that you're struggling. You know, I care, and I don't want to sit on the sidelines and just let people struggle when I know that I can kind of help you. All right? So, y'all take care, and we will see you soon in another video.